Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Dirt Info Podcast. Hey, real quick, if you could just hit like, subscribe, or follow, depending on your platform for us. That'd be really appreciated. But with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into our very first segment. And
It's called Styling and Profile.
thanks, Rick. Carter, let's have you go first.
Okay, I'll have one. This would have fit better if it didn't rain, but this is the Captain of the Creek shirt from the first one when it was 5,000 to win in
Ooh.
no idea what year. I don't know, not that long ago. 2019 or 20 maybe. Um,
All
but
right.
we'll get to it later, but obviously I wasn't able to go to the whole thing, but I figured I'd break that out since it just happened.
I like it. I like it too that it's like the very first one, like the
Only one
very
I got
first
from this
adventure.
show too.
Yeah.
So
Well, once you get the original, do you really need more?
no, sometimes I do. Really, it just
Yeah.
depends how they look. It depends on
I
whether I buy
did
it or not.
I did kind of like this year's with the pirate ship theme
See,
and
I didn't
stuff.
I didn't like it. That's why I didn't get it. I
Oh,
thought about it, I was like,
okay.
no.
All right. I was a fan. Anyway, I don't want to get too far in the weeds. Anyway, I'll do mine. So I'm wearing mine. This is my Super Bobby Pierce shirt. Uh, I don't even recall. I got it at a show, probably at USA Nationals. Actually, it was USA Nationals like 3 years ago. Now that I think about it, but I just like it. It's a good shirt. I like that he does the themes. You know, he does the Scrappy Doo every now and again, and the Scooby Doo themes. This one was Super Mario theme, and I guess I played it as a kid, so it
I
again themes, old school nostalgia. There's a theme here. There's a
I got
theme.
I got one of his themed ones too, but I've yet to show it. So I will get to it
Okay.
at some point. It could either be soon or in 100 episodes. But
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a couple double shirts, and one of them is the Grinch one, and Sherry and I
oh,
sometimes wear it when we go Christmas shopping. So
you you
anyway,
you
um,
froze for a second. We
but
heard what you said, but you
did we
froze for a
freeze?
second.
How'd
Yeah,
that
we
go?
did for a second.
Okay. Well, it looked weird on my end too. So anyway, we'll keep it moving. Um, but those are our shirts. That's styling and profiling. So you had alluded to it. You got to go racing. I said last week I wasn't. I didn't. I'll recap mine in a minute. But you did a fair bit of racing. So run us through it.
Yeah, I did four races technically. I mean Tuesday. So Tuesday was 141, and they got seven heat races in.
Okay.
And I think I posted it on Twitter, and I think you may have seen the picture in Discord, but there was a big old storm coming through, and at like the dark clouds missed, and I was like, oh, we might be okay. And then it was like kind of just like cloudy at that point. Like the skies were gray, but not like black, pretty much like it was before. It's like, oh, maybe we're gonna be okay. And then it started pouring, and it poured for a long, long time. And before it started pouring, it was so windy they have like a fountain in the infield pond, like it shoots water
Mhm.
out. And the wind was, you could feel the water from that fountain hitting you in the stands. Like, because it's like, you think it's raining and it's like, oh no, it's just a little bit of sprinkles from the fountain right now. That was probably the windiest it's been at a racetrack. The sprint cars, if they had sprint cars, they would not have been racing. It would have been too windy for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got seven heats in and then it rained and they pretty much scrapped all of Tuesday. 'Cause I didn't even get to the sport mods yet. Although I would have liked if they ran the stock car feature because that lineup was already set and everything. So I would have totally been fine with like a makeup feature kind of the next day, but they didn't do that. But yeah, so all that was scrapped. They pretty much just restarted it. Pretty much started the show
From
Wednesday,
yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wednesday, I was there. I was able to go Wednesday. Um, I don't really remember much of what happened Wednesday. Racing, it wasn't bad or anything. It
Good.
wasn't the main day. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's tough. The first day of a 2 day show is
Yeah,
tough. I know they had some complete races and whatnot, but still,
yeah, they had
the big
features and
payoff is
stuff.
the sport mods.
Brandon
So
Schmidt won mods and stock cars. I guess that's notable.
yeah.
Benji was the first guy ever to do it like a month or two ago. Now he's the second, I believe, in the same night. Um, and then I remember one thing I do remember is Matt Avila, believe it's pronounced. He's the guy who ended up winning on Thursday, the 10,000, and he won it last year too. But I remember in the heat race, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna win this whole thing because he was flying in his heat
Uh,
race. And then he won his prelim feature that night, I remember, and I can't remember who won the second one. It might have been. Coy might have won the other one. Coy Valise.
Valise. Yep.
Could be wrong on that. I know a local won the first one, and then a out of pounder won the second one. But then yeah, Thursday Matt Avila won, but I was not there because I had to go to the Hill Raceway, which is like 40 minutes north of me in Sturgeon Bay, for the Dirt Kings race. And we had some of your guys, kind of your guys, Wasota guys come out there. Sam
Right on.
Mars was there, Jake Radetsky, and then a guy whose name I don't know how to pronounce. It's like Daniel like Baumgartner or something. He's like a Red Cedar guy, I think. But he was out there.
Yep.
I think that was all of them. Yeah, pretty sure that was all of them. But yeah, they had 26 late models, which is really good in this area.
That's solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enough for a B main, so we'll take that. And then Mike Mullen ended up winning, and he said it was his first time there since like 2006 or something. And when he went, it was probably in a modified, if I had to guess, because that was the first time they had late models there, and I think since 2006. But he didn't start running late models till in the last 10 years or so. Um,
Right.
but yeah, Mike Mullen won from the pole. Sam Mars came from mid pack to fourth, which was fun to watch. Unfortunately, it was kind of around the bottom. A few guys could like sometimes make a pass on the top. Um, and whenever there was traffic, it was good. But every time they get the traffic, caution would come out. So that kind of ruined it. But yeah, so then Friday, where did I go Friday? Outagamie Speedway. That's where I went Friday. I get them all mixed up. Did Mike Mullen win that too? I gotta actually
No, he
look
did
who won. He
not.
didn't. Who won that?
Uh, where did that go? Where did that go?
I
Brad
was
Mueller.
Brad. Yep, he won that. Yep, and
Yep.
he runs Plymouth a lot, so I see him there quite often. He also runs asphalt. He won. People that know asphalt. He won the what's like the Slinger Nationals, I think is the name of it. It's a big asphalt race they have at
It's
Slinger.
a big
He won
asshole
that
race.
last year too. So he runs asphalt and dirt. But yeah, he's
Right
good on
on.
both clearly. So
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Not gonna lie.
yeah, there's not a ton of guys I feel like that do that. I mean, there's some we see that run late models and asphalt. Who is it? There's a guy that
Aiden Honeycutt,
him and there's one more. He ran some of the Hell Tour stuff. 'Cause I remember he missed a few to
Carson
run.
Brown.
That's who it is. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's cool that there's still guys that'll run a bit of both
Mhm.
when time allows and all that. And they had like 149 cars, I think, in 6 divisions. So they went. I was hoping for a short night because the week before they got done at 9:30 with like 120 cars, 25, but did not get as lucky. I think it was like 10:30, which I guess is quick
It's
in
not
your
bad
neck of
at
the
all.
woods. But
It's not horrible. I still don't know why we're objecting to being done at 10:30,
I'm
but
just
here we
I was the week before it was 9:30, and yeah, 10:30 is not bad at all. But
oh man, I mean,
I'm fine with the 10:30, but I was just optimistic
listen,
because the week before.
I mean, the ticket didn't cost more if we got a little bit more entertainment. I'm just not sure I get it, but
Well, the
anyway.
ticket, if I could see 150 cars race at 3 hours or 4 hours, I'm seeing the same amount of race, and I'll take 3 hours every time. So
Oh,
we got no added entertainment really. We didn't get any special thing at intermission. So we got a coin
that's
drop
fine.
for the kids, but I didn't go watch
Oh,
that. So
no.
I might have been too old to compete, I think.
You're kidding, Hart. Just start throwing elbows. No,
What if
I'm
yeah, if I go
kidding.
down there and start take the camera guy's taking the coins.
What the heck? I'm a kid at heart. Anyway, we can move past that.
That Saturday rain out, all of
Yeah.
Wisconsin. I think one asphalt track got a race in, but even they had some track drying to do. And then Sunday, I didn't have to go to Angel Park. They rained out anyway, so it didn't matter. And then I thought about going to Dubuque, but then the weather didn't look great, and I made the right decision because they got rained out after the heat races.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So that was yeah, that was my races, my four.
Right on. Well, I didn't go to any racing. I kind of had to be an adult. I think I had mentioned it before, but I had a funeral on Friday, unfortunately, and then I went and hung out with some friends and we played some games Friday night. I think it was a good way to sort of reflect and take a deep breath. So that was super fun. And then I went to casino on Saturday, but it wasn't a racetrack. It was just a casino. But it would have been cheaper if I'd have just driven to South Dakota, truth be told. So, but I had a lot of fun for a long time, so I can't complain. It was a good night. Um, And then yeah, and then Saturday. I mean, I honestly didn't. I hardly watched any racing. I mostly followed on Sunday. I had to be a full on adult and did a bunch of meal prepping and cooking, and I made a bomb, super like probably the best one I've ever had. Um, Chicken parmesan sandwich, chicken parmesan sub. Oh man, I crushed it. Anyway, I think I'm hungry is why I made it. But so I just had to be an adult and watch. But I did follow along here and there, and I think something that I and everybody in dirt racing, it feels like, followed along with was apparently there was an. I want to say this before I say that what happened. You were so confident last week that there's nothing's gonna come of this crap. It's just all talk and bluster.
And there was no talk though that was said between we're talking about the Dillard and Albertson thing. There was no talk that I saw. So
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I did kind of bury the lead because I give you shit for, but yeah. So, Cade Dillard just, and I mean, for lack of a better phrase, Cade Dillard plowed into Garrett Albertson. Now you can feel how you want to feel about that. I saw lots of opinions both ways about it, but I think to describe it for those who aren't in the know is Dillard drove into the left rear of Garrett Albertson as he was completing a slider, and he put him in the wall and nearly flipped him. And then afterwards was just kind of like, if he touches me again, I'll do it again. So
did
I
he
don't
kind
know,
of
man.
like admit to doing it? So like I feel like
I think
there's
that's the
really
line that everyone's using
there's
to say
really
he like said he did it intentionally
yeah.
was if he touches me again, I'll do it again kind of thing. I'm not gonna parse words if we all feel like that's what he was intending there, then yeah, I think he did kind of he had his fill, I guess. And I saw comments anywhere from when a good guy finally has had enough to that dude should be black flagged from the event and not allowed to race with Luke a while and everything in between. So I don't know. I just thought it was funny. You said that we weren't going to see anything, and then we saw that. So it turns out that maybe you don't always have to say in victory lane that, or in the in podium interviews that you might want to think about getting a guy. Sometimes you can just be pissed and go get him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, I've spent 3 days going, we were going to film a podcast and I should have some kind of opinion, and I still can't. The only thing I can really think about it is it feels odd to me that Garrett Alberson over like somehow the last like 3 weeks has been the dude that's like getting called out. You know,
Yeah,
doesn't it feel a
it
little
would
weird?
you think it would have been like a Pierce. Well, it has been a Pierce, I guess, getting called out, but actually someone
Not in
acting on
this
it. Yeah,
way.
but or like a Turbo or something, a Ricky, but it
Yeah,
was Alberson.
Alberson. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. So he seems like a pretty good guy. We had a short one time, and some people who were local to East Moline or something, I think, commented and just mentioned how good of a guy he is and stuff. So like he's got this very good. Part of me half wonders if like because this isn't the first comments towards him in the recent history, and part of me is just like, is he too reflective? We talked about this when he got in Jake Tim, and he like took some blame and maybe he shouldn't have. It makes you wonder if people aren't like a little like pouncing on it, like they sense there's a weakness there, and so I don't know, they think they can get a little more respect out of him. I don't know. It's just something to consider. I've been trying to figure out how we ended up here with with Garrett Albertson just getting absolutely monster trucked. I don't know. Obviously, I like Cade, like so. I'm just trying to figure out how we ended up here, but
Obviously, you hate Garrett Alberson because you don't got his thing on the
I
wall.
don't have his door panel. Well, he should drive more modifieds. He's from the Vado area.
I did see, I guess they're getting a merch trailer. I think they have one
I
actually.
saw that.
So
They announced it like the day after. Yeah, so they're gonna have a merge trailer. Go check them out. I think they have codes on Dirt Draft as well too. So like if you play Dirt Draft, you can get percentage off to Garrett Albertson stuff, just cashing in your
so they
speed shot points.
might have to sell the merch trailer to pay for the car that is destroyed now. So who knows? Might not have the merch
Well,
trailer
I mean,
anymore.
he races for a team, so I think that's benefit of having a team owner. I think that one
Hey
doesn't
guys,
come out of your
we got this
paycheck.
merch trailer, but we're gonna have to sell it now because our car is destroyed. It's bent in half.
Uh,
That was a
I
crazy
don't think
wreck.
that'll
He
happen.
like
That was a
went like
crazy
his
wreck.
back end was way in the air. Yeah, I thought he was gonna go like
Yeah.
front flipping down the front
I
stretch.
thought for sure he was gonna go over, and he never did. Um, so yeah, weird too. Just I don't know. I
Uh,
watched it, and I was part of me is like, that's not the greatest slider. Like he does sit in the middle for forever, and then just kind of come out of it after they come out of two. I could see how like as a driver you're a little pissed off about that. He also had plenty of time to turn. Maybe he did turn and the wind the air sucked him into him and then he's just playing it off. I mean that seems the least likely of scenarios, but I did hear that.
if you're, I feel like if he was trying to wreck him, well, he wrecked him, but like you also wrecked yourself. So was it really
Right.
worth it?
It's a
Did
great I mean clearly it wasn't. I don't know how well the guys did in the feature, but I didn't see them running towards the front all that much. So it ruined their whole event. I mean really truthfully, no matter how pissed off you are, you could have driven around that. I think that's the part where everyone's just like, well, you know,
maybe Dillard will have a monster truck wrap next year like Ebert had.
maybe should. Well, Turbo had one before too.
That
He
is
had
true.
the
Gravedigger
yeah,
one.
yeah. Well, I have said before, Monster Patrol is a pretty awesome truck. So anyone needs any inspiration. Anyway, so other than that, there was actually a $50,000 to win race that weekend, and Jonathan Davenport won that. So, um,
Yeah, that wasn't
ultimately,
too shocking, especially there.
yeah,
That's like I don't know. You don't really bang the cushion or anything. You just kind of roll through the middle. That's exactly what he's good at. So
that's him in a nutshell. Yeah. Speaking of Ebert, he came home fourth in
I
that
saw
too.
that
So I think
the
that was.
top like during the race, like sixth through 10th was like really weird. Like I can't remember
Mhm.
who else. Was it Justin Duty or something up? There was a few, or maybe
Kyle
Clay
Beard
Stuckey.
was up
Yeah, Beard was
there.
up. There was a few weird
Yeah.
ones. Like, oh, that's just not normal top
Yeah,
10.
not names you see often. Yep, yep. So, um, bit of a caution fest, it
Yeah,
seemed. Yeah.
tires and all
So,
that fun stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, those guys go again this weekend, Port Royal for I think it's 10,000 on Friday and 50,000 on Saturday. So, we were chatting a little bit out in the pre-show. They should probably get a solid car count and um, you
I think
know,
didn't
it's a
Elverson get his first Lucas win at Port Royal
I think he did.
on like the prelim night? So
Ooh,
there's
yeah,
that.
is that the redemption?
Yeah, although
Well, and
Kate
Kate
Dillard
Dillard's probably
won't be
likely
there.
going to Arrowhead, so
Yeah,
he's probably safe. I mean, worth
unless for some reason
mentioning.
there's a bunch of other guys that hate him that haven't said anything.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If you go read enough of their comments, you can see all kinds. They said all kinds of stuff. They were, uh, yeah, they had a lot to say. I don't want to just rehash it. You know what I mean? Other people reported it and everything, but they had a lot to say. Definitely go check out Dirt on Dirt. There was a lot there I saw. But anyway, um, so the World of Outlaws, they had they were supposed to have like four shows,
Yeah,
I think, in a
Friday at
row. They
Maquoketa rained out. They got
Friday at
Wednesday,
Maquoketa,
Thursday, and Saturday in.
yeah. Wednesday, Highland Tanner English picked up a win, first one in a while. So that was kind of at least an interesting name to see pick up a dub. You know, like
Yeah,
sometimes you
Bab
just
was
get tired
second.
of seeing the same four people. So,
And Shannon Bab was second. I mean, it did rubber,
oh,
but
nice.
still cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping Bab was going to win, but he would have had to kind of destroy Tanner English to get past him on the track.
Okay.
So because it was around the bottom. So
Yeah. Fair enough. I guess all things considered, I'm glad he didn't.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. And then Thursday, Spoon River, Bobby Pierce won. That feels like a place he would win. And then, like you said, Friday, Maquoketa rained out. Saturday, they still went for 50,000.
it was
Um,
25.
or no, you're
It was
right.
25 the whole time, even
It
before
was,
the rain out.
yeah,
Or
you're
was it
right. You're
30
right.
or
I
something?
just
I
meant
know
this.
it wasn't 50. Yeah,
It was 20. It was 20. I meant to just say they raced for the bigger one. 'Cause I was trying to allude to something we talked about
there's so
before, the
many
difference.
50,000s. I don't blame you for
Yeah,
thinking.
but this one was just 20,000. Thanks for catching that. But they did race for the bigger person. So that was cool. Uh, looked like a heck of a race. I only caught highlights. You watched some of it, but Bobby Pierce clipped Shirley at the line by, I think it was like point oh four.
Zero I thought it was like
Yeah,
0.058 or something. I thought
maybe
something with
that's
an
what it
8 at
was.
the
It
end.
was super close though. He nearly got him. Pierce afterwards had mentioned that if it was any one lap longer, he probably would have lost. So, I think Shirley came from somewhere in the back-ish, mid-pack or something.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I was playing
I think,
Xbox at the time of watching it, so
yeah,
it wasn't fully
yeah.
locked
Watching.
in. I did pay attention
I
to
almost
the
called you
stock
a
car feature
millennial, but
there.
that dates me. You're younger than that. That's how you watch racing. You said you watched the stock car
Yeah,
feature.
guy from my area won, Presley Harrington, so that was kind of cool. Which
Oh,
I'm almost positive he's in one of Benji's old stock cars. Like the one Benji won 50 grand in at Batesville, funny enough. I'm pretty sure it's that car that he's in, so still
okay,
fast.
right on. The one thing I will say, you've been to Maquoketa a few times.
Five
I think
times.
yeah, okay.
I just-
Brag about it. I definitely need to get there. That looks like a badass track. It really
Yeah.
does. It looks like a really badass track. I've pontificated before about the flat and wide theory. I feel like what I see, that one fits the bill. It's only a a little quarter-mile track, but it is wide.
Yeah.
And it's fairly flat, is it not? You've seen it in person, so
Yeah,
you
it's not super banked, no.
yeah. And they can go everywhere. I swear at one point they were like 5 wide coming out of turn 4 for the lead. It's just wild.
I've noticed too, so there's tracks like Maquoketa is one of them, Fairbury, Boone's one of them, but where the bottom lane, it's like the banking doesn't start until like a few lanes after the bottom. Like the bottom is literally like pretty much flat. I've noticed tracks like that
Okay.
race like really like Fairbury's like that where the bottom is like pretty much flat. I know Boone's like that too, where like the banking doesn't start like right away where it starts going up. It's
Yeah.
like flat and then it goes up. I've noticed tracks like
Okay.
that for some reason race really good too. I don't know what it is, but I've starting to notice that as well. So like is
Okay.
it progressive banking? Is that the word? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what you would call it because it's lower and then it kind of goes. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. If we're wrong, someone can tell us to have
Cool.
so, um, but yeah, so that I definitely need to get there. That might be something that you and I plan early next year. Oh, the Nippy.
Yeah, I'm planning to go there
Ooh,
again. As long as the weather don't look bad, I'll be there. I was gonna go there in October, for their like IMCA thing they got. It's just like a bunch of like stock cars and stuff. I went there last year for it, but I gotta go to Ogilvy that weekend. So
oh, I'll be at Ogilvy that weekend probably then.
yeah, so I'll see you there. Not at Maquoketa, but I'll see you.
Okay, right on. You're gonna get some good racing at Ogilvy too, so at least you're in for a treat. Uh, but yeah, I definitely want to get there for sure. Anyway, so that's the late model side of things. I do want to quickly mention the Heartland Modified Tour got both nights in. They were at Humboldt and Brandon Gemmel picked up the $2,000 win. And then Saturday they were at Nevada Speedway and Cookie Monster Brandon Givens picked up his first win with that series. So that was kind of cool too. That was 2000. Oh, sorry about that. We restarted. There was some mic issues and some freezing issues. So hopefully the rest of the way here will be good. But picking up with the HMT, I just wanted to mention that they've been intriguing me. It's part of the reason I've been bringing it up so much, Carter. Is just they're developing some talent down there, and we've talked about in a few other episodes, how we've noticed some guys are running more late models now, and we've talked in the Discord about how certain pockets see rise and fall in modifieds. And so I would say that HMT is doing a very good job in the Kansas City, Missouri area of bringing some guys along two that stick out to me, Shadron Turner and Bobby Williams. They both come from the B mod ranks. Bobby Williams was in a B mod like last year, and now he's cutting it up at the front of these Heartland modified fields. So I think there's something cool brewing down there, and I dig it. And it's always nice when you can see some fresh names cutting it up with some veterans, and you can tell they're cutting their teeth, and we might see them on a bigger stage soon. So
Did
I
did
think that's
did Bobby Williams run a B mod at Vado during the Wild West shootout?
he very well could have.
Uh, does he have long hair?
Yeah.
Was I
He
thinking of
doesn't
someone else?
anymore. He's
Okay.
got a big beard. No, no, no.
You
You're
know what I'm
thinking of
thinking of?
Rob Mosley.
That's who
Yeah,
I'm
you're
thinking of.
thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nope, nope. Um, I think totally different personalities there, but I don't know totally for sure. But yeah, but I think it's cool that they are, bringing up guys from the B mod ranks and they're having success early and it's the only way I can well, I shouldn't say the only way, but a good way to grow the ranks of a class is to give them opportunities to run for halfway decent money. So I dig it. But anyway, in that same vein, a guy that at one point in time I was convinced would be in a USRA modified, possibly running USMTS, is definitely not doing that, and instead is dominating in a late model. So we mentioned SLMR last week. Dallon Murty swept the weekend, won 3 races in a row. He picked up what did he grab? Here it is, $5,086 at Park Jefferson, $5,156 at Shelby County, and then $3,000 at US 30. Just swept the whole weekend. That dude's I mean, you know him,
Yeah,
obviously, from mods, stock
stock
cars,
cars.
IMCA side of thing. Yep. I know him from that too, mostly, and then a little bit when he ran a Harris Auto modified for some shows with the USMTS. But like, I don't want to say it's a coming out party, but it feels like when you can go win 3 in a row like that, like he's definitely taking foothold in the late model ranks.
I
I
think he won
think,
a at Huset's too when they were there with Lucas Oil. He won that, and that
yeah,
was a pretty big field too. So he's
yeah,
picked up a good amount of bigger wins in like the SLMR series this year.
yeah. And I want to say it's like his first year in a late model. He
I
maybe
believe
dabbled
I
dabbled
believe
at
it's
the
his
end of
first
last
year.
year.
I think he
Yeah,
ran like a crate one or something in like Mississippi area. He had some that might have been like one of those Cruises street stocks too, which are basically late model if we're being honest. But
yeah.
but I'm pretty sure he ran like a crate one or something down there. But yeah, this is his first full year in one.
Yeah. And he's won a fair bit and he's raced really well. So uh it looks good on him. We'll say that. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him. I think with some of the connections and stuff that he's got down there and people you see around, I wouldn't be shocked to see him on Woo or Lucas in the not too distant future. I mean, he's like taking a fish to water in these late models, man. It's impressive and noteworthy, and I'm sure we're not the only ones that it's caught our eye. So interesting to see how that develops. Um, but that's more or less all the things I followed along and you follow along with this weekend. So I've got another adulting weekend that I can touch on after you, but you're going racing. So we always start with he who's going racing. So tell me what you got on deck this week.
I don't know if there'll ever be a weekend where I don't go first. It seems like.
I go first if I have racing usually, because we
It-
have to mix it up somehow.
yeah, I'll go. So it's I'm planning on going. It could change depending on how I'm feeling, honestly. But Thursday, I'm planning to go to Wisconsin International Raceway, which I was thinking about going to like 2 weeks ago. But I always try to get there once a year, an asphalt track like an hour away from me. And then Friday, I got Plymouth for the Dirt Kings race, and then I think that's 3,500 to win, which is pretty good for them. And then Saturday I go to Shawano for Dirt Kings. I have no idea what that pays, probably like 1,500. And then Sunday I'm hoping to go to Toma Sparta Speedway, which is another asphalt track, like 3 hours away. And they normally run Fridays, so I've never been there before. But they run Sunday this week for Hobby Fest, it's called, which is like a hobby stock special, which if you know me, I love the hobby stocks, street stocks and stuff on asphalt. I'd take those over the late models on asphalt anytime. So I'm hoping to get to there and knock that track off my list. Another Wisconsin track to get off my list. So those are my plans. We'll see. So far, weather looks good for this weekend, but it's early, so who knows what'll happen there.
So if you go on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever it is for a special, do you still get to count it as one of your like you've been to one of the weekly running tracks still?
Yeah, I
Or
just have to. Yeah, it
okay,
doesn't have to be a weekly
okay,
show. I just want to go to a track that
okay.
runs. Because if
Runs
I
weekly.
toss in the one-off tracks and like the backyard tracks and all that, I'd have. Although I think I've got all of the one-off like actual dirt tracks besides one. So really, it only add one more I'd have to get to. And they actually ran this past Wednesday. in Lancaster, Wisconsin, I guess, which I didn't even know was a place until I heard of this track. But they have like a race, they have a fair race once a year on like a Wednesday,
Okay.
but that's down by like the Butte area, so pretty far away on a Wednesday. So that is
Yeah.
why I don't plan on going there anytime soon. And it's a fair race, and I hate fair races, so
Yeah, people, food,
yeah.
things.
It's just a
Yeah.
lot of people. It changes the parking, it changes where you sit and all that fun stuff. Unless you get there super early.
Which is, see, it doesn't usually affect me. If I were to go to a fair race, it would just be like I'd have to go have something to do even more.
I did go to actually this at the hill on Thursday. That was a fair race. That was the first time I
Yeah.
streamed at a fair race, and thankfully I was able to get like a free fair pass to get in. So I
Okay.
could have went there all 4 days or whatever to the fair. I did not, but I went there one day and I
Ooh.
walked in, went straight to the grandstands, and when I left, I walked and went straight out. I didn't go by
Didn't
any of the
even get like
rides.
a pronto pup or anything,
Nope.
nothing.
Nope.
Oh
I didn't even eat there.
man,
I had Quick Trip for like the fourth time that week for dinner, so
I'm appalled. I feel like I don't know how this set up, but I was gonna give you Kevin. I feel like you had to go by one
no,
vendor.
I did not.
No,
I saw the big slide because I was kind of right by the entrance. I saw the back of it. That was one thing I saw.
you didn't even go down the slide, not one time.
No, didn't go down that slide.
Fair enough. Um, so, well, I'm not going racing like I mentioned, but I do kind of want to just. It's a big week around here, so I kind of wanted to chat about it. But so oldest 2-a-days have started, so football's in full swing for him. He's got a scrimmage on Saturday, so I'm pumped for that. I get to go watch I get to go watch my son, but also like all half, well, I shouldn't say half, they're on varsity JV now, but anyway, a full quarter of those kids I probably coached at, for 6, 7, 8 years. So like, I just want to go watch my guys play football. It's always, it's a nice underrated aspect of going to watch Xavier play football is it's all my guys too. Like I coached a bunch of these guys. And so I got like, it's different. I don't know. I cheer for Ed. I always say if I've coached you one time, you're my player for life. So like I'm out there hooting and hollering for all of my
That way, if
guys.
they make it to the league, you can take credit for it.
Absolutely not. Nope, I take
I
no credit
coach
for
you
anything.
one
I was
day,
just there for
one day, so I'll be expecting part of that bonus you got.
not even a little bit. Nope, it's just fun to see him do well and root for him and yeah, Xavier sometimes is just like, "Oh, Dad, could you please?" And I'm just like, you you've known me your whole life, son. When have I ever been quiet?" So, anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And then also the very next day, Thursday, Xavier turns 16. So I'm gonna have another driver in the house. That is terrifying. So we have already got a plan. We're gonna get up in the morning and he picked the station to go to. He's heard this one's the easy place to pass. So we're
Oh,
making a little bit of a
there was a place like that by me. One's
yeah.
easier because one you go in Green Bay, which there's like a bunch of stoplights. The other one you go to like in my area and there's no stoplights, so
So,
less traffic.
yes. So interestingly enough, he did pick one that's a bit out in the sticks. We got to drive like 40 minutes to get to the station. So, I get it. I mean, I was 16 once and I had all these anxieties. Um, I guess since we're on it, I'll tell a bit of a funny story. So, when I went to go take my driver's test, so where I was back in my day, there were two near me. There was one that's like a closed course, and then there's another one where you just drive through like city streets.
Yeah, that's
And there's
right.
lots of stop signs and everything. Um, but so you didn't ever want to go to Arden Hills. Arden Hills, everyone passed. They had a trick intersection, and they just had all these aura around it, right? So I went to Anoka. Well, they do the pre-check thing and they're like, can you, where's this? Where's that? Where's that? And they go, where's the parking brake? And I'm like, it's right there. And he goes, put it on. All right. Well, I'd like to pass this test, so I'm going to listen. So I put it on and I went to go take it off and it like wouldn't disengage. And
Oh,
so like I got it to kind of flick and we went and the way it was set up is the first thing he did is do the 90-degree backing. So I did that and that was that was fine getting in, and I went to drive out, and the car wouldn't drive out
Oh, because the parking brake?
because the parking brake was stuck. So it gets better. It gets better. So like the guy that I'm doing the thing is like, well, let's like go talk to your dad because obviously this isn't moving. So we go talk to my dad. My dad's just livid. Like, why the hell does he have to put it on? Like, you guys are idiots. These cars never anyway. So there's this whole rant, and the guy's like, all right, well, if you can get it fixed, we'll like work you back in. So my dad's sitting there underneath, they're just yanking on this cable, and he gets it to loosen. And he's like, good enough. We made a day of this. You're going. So I'm like, he goes storming off, gets the instructor. Instructor gets back in the car. I'm driving down Anoka. So downtown Anoka, for those of us local here, I'm driving down downtown Anoka. The parking brake is still quasi stuck and smoke is billowing out of my tires going down the road. And we do like as much as we can, and we get to the parallel parking, and the guy's like, you're gonna pass, just get back to the station. And so I didn't even have to do it. So that's how I passed, and I did indeed pass, and I got my license, and we got that back to my dad's house, and he's like, just go. And I got in my car and left, and he fixed it from there. But anyway,
My getting my driver's license story is not as good as that. I did fail the first time though, because I like everything was fine except when you make a right, you're kind of supposed to go over to the curb and then like turn. And I like turned from like I
the
didn't go
lane.
over a bit. I just pretty much yeah. So
Yep.
I failed literally because of that.
Hmm.
So that was unfortunate. I think my driver's test was the last time I knew how to parallel park though, because now I can't do it at all. So I will
Facts.
park a mile away before I'm parallel parking somewhere.
I just spent 2 hours in the car earlier today with Xavier working on parallel parking. And I'm like, it's so unfair that if you hit a curb, you fail. Because in real life, that's more like, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm not a star parallel parker. I'm using the curb for guidance. And I'm not worried about it. So, like, why are we failing kids for this? Like, holding them to an impossible standard. So, anyway. I'm right there. But then the other thing, and this is going to help us plug something again. But the other thing I'm doing is my annual fantasy football draft this weekend. So we make a bit of a weekend out of it. I'm really looking forward to that. But speaking of fantasy football, Carter, well, how many guys are we up to in our league? I think we're up to
One, two,
something.
three, four. No, four.
Five?
If you count
Five.
Sherry, we're up to five, right?
Right. And then we got Sean as well, right? We're
And
including
then
him.
Ryan,
Yep.
me, and you.
And then
So
Ryan.
we need
Okay.
five more
We need at
ideally.
least five. At least five. I can recruit a son or two if we need to. We can get her somewhere close to seven, but and we can find friends to fill this. We really can. It's just a matter of we would, if possible, we'd like to play with people who listen to us. We know
Yeah.
there's at least like close to 60 of you out there. So like we really do want to play with y'all. And I almost said you guys, but it's not all guys. Sherry's playing. Sherry's one of our avid listeners. So so I think at this point we're just gonna say 10-team league. That feels like the where we're gonna have to cap out. We're gonna do a 10-team league. I'm rooting for two quarterbacks to make it fun and interesting. And then I think people are hesitant because we haven't said when we're going to draft or anything, right? It's like hard to commit and not really know. So I think we would probably shoot somewhere
Before the season
the
starts.
before the season starts. Probably that week before the season starts is what I'm thinking. Like somewhere that Monday through Wednesday, maybe. Tentative, just throwing it out there so people can have some idea. But anyway, we'd love to play with y'all. So I guess enough of that. As far as what we'll be paying attention to for racing, I do have my eyes on the World of Outlaws down in Oklahoma at Arrowhead. I find it interesting that they have a 2-day show. World of Outlaws does Friday, Saturday, but on Thursday, Comp Cams is running a 10,000 to win show at the same track at Arrowhead. So,
It's a smart
um,
decision because you're gonna get national guys there, I'm sure. I'd be shocked if
yeah,
none of them showed up. I don't know, like maybe like a Pierce or someone will skip it, but Like I'm sure,
Why?
like
It's 10
yeah,
grand.
you
I
never know.
mean,
Some
you
drivers
got
are
to be
weird,
there tomorrow. Yeah, I hear you.
but yeah, like Troutman will probably. I'm sure he runs a million races. Dotson, like I could see them for sure running that.
Yep. And I think this is actually a co-sanctioned deal with Comp Cams and Woo. So I
Oh, on
imagine,
Friday, Saturday.
yeah. So I imagine it's gonna, yeah, I think all 3 days is gonna be a solid car count between the two series. Thursday will be interesting to see how many Outlaws run, but I imagine it'll be, I would be shocked if it's not almost every last one of them. So, but that should be interesting. So that's what kind of keeping my eye on that. At one point in time, I thought they had 360s and Outlaw modifieds, but it turns out they have 360 modifieds there. So
360 modifieds.
when
What is
reading,
that?
yeah, at Arrowhead. That's a
What I've never.
support
I don't even
class.
know what 360 modifieds
I
are.
was soda modified pretty much.
Oh, is that what they are?
I mean, yeah,
I hear 360 and I instantly think of like 360 sprint cars. So
same. 360 modifieds makes the brain think interesting things.
they have to get pushed off.
Yeah. Could you imagine? What an embarrassment for a modified to be pushed out. Yeah, the dang 360s. Anyway. Shit, you got me good with that one. Oh, Christ. All right. Well, and then the other thing that's worth mentioning, because depending on weather and how, if your shows get over at 8:45 like they're supposed to or not, you might catch some Mars racing. So we've got
Oh, yep.
Mars is back. They're at Kankakee for 5 grand and Red Hill for 5 grand on Friday and Saturday.
I'd
So,
watch the
um,
Kankakee one. I'm a known not hater, but I don't know. Something about Red Hill just doesn't intrigue me. I usually won't. I probably wouldn't turn that on over Lucas or Outlaws. So, but I guess if it's the only thing running, I'll probably still turn it on. But I don't know. Something about
you
Red
probably
Hill.
will.
You're in Illinois, and somehow it's a big track. It just doesn't. Something's not right there.
How do we get a Pennsylvania
It's
track in here? I don't know how big it is. I'm just being
it's
smart.
not a quarter mile, so it's big in Illinois.
Yeah, that there's something that doesn't feel right about that. I hear you. And then the thing that I'll be at least following along with, you can imagine with fantasy football weekend, the amount of racing I'll watch is limited, but I will be following along with USMTS. They've got a 3 day swing, so they're Thursday at Electric City, Friday at Callaway, and then Saturday they're at Scotland County. And so I think we've got 3,000, 5,000, and 5,000 to win on those shows. And then they got the USRA Ironman stock cars in support. So like, if I had time to watch, that would probably be the thing I'd watch. I get USMTS and stock cars. I don't know that you can really beat it. But I did want to also mention, just like a tip of the cap to the Scotland County Facebook page. They've been really trying to promote that USMTS is coming there for the last like 10 or 12 days. They've been posting driver profiles, and I think they've got some giveaway for shares and likes, and I don't know, worth a mention. At least they're trying
Yeah,
something. I don't,
good fans.
you know,
I just
yeah,
saw a post. It wasn't from them, but from Racing Dirt. I don't know. This might have been the last time they were there, but RC Whitwell won USMTS, I believe was last there. Took like a humongous rollover. So after, I don't think you saw, but after they should. It was a crazy rollover last time they were there. Like he was rolling all the way down like through 3 and 4. I don't remember what year it was. Like in the mid 2010s, I think, if I remember right. But yeah, it was a crazy rollover there. And I know Scotland County because they have some IMCA shows there, so it's
yeah.
cool.
We talked about it earlier in the
Yeah,
season.
I think
You had told me that USMTS was
yeah, I
going.
think it's early late March or early April they have a show down there that draws a few bigger IMCA names. So curious to see what. Hopefully they get a good field of USMTS mods. I mean, you'll get the guys that follow, but I don't know what the nearest USRA track is. They're in Missouri, so there's got to be some nearby.
I assume there's got to be a few nearish by. So
But I
hopefully
guess
they do well. It'll be
it could be a Wisconsin situation where if a Wasota show had one in Luxembourg, you wouldn't get many Wasota cars showing up. So
no. Yeah. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm always rooting for car counts to be up, but also sometimes when you strike out or try to, get some tracks back online, you have to go through a year or two, sometimes too, of struggles. It's not always just, hey, we showed up, everyone else showed
Yeah,
up, you know.
exactly.
So yeah. And with Heartland Modified in that area doing work, maybe that's part of the bond or the brotherhood or the sisterhood or whatever of doing that is now you've got the regional kind of feeding it too. So I don't know. I'm pontificating here, but anyway, speaking of regional series, we've also got the Northern Lights back for one day on Sunday at Mason City, and I'm curious if Brad's going to go to that. I hope he does. That's just a
Hopefully,
random on-air
yeah.
thought.
Hopefully the weather
He
is better
almost,
this time.
yeah, he almost made it to the track this week, and then the weather wasn't so good. So our buddy Brad that we mentioned a lot hasn't been able to make it to the track for well over a year now, and so he's getting real close heading back, and we're kind of excited for him for sure. I can't wait for him to get back to the track. I think it'll be good for him. So, and speaking of that, and I apologize that I don't know Brad's dad's name, but we should mention that Brad's dad won like a trophy for restoring a tractor this
Oh
past
yeah,
weekend.
that's right.
That's pretty freaking neat. He showed us pictures in the Discord and everything. That's pretty awesome. So right on. Senior
Brad's dad.
Brad. Yeah,
Brad
Brad's
Senior.
dad. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's everything we had planned to mention, which means, Carter, it's time for
The one for the road, and mine is at Southern Oregon Speedway, I believe. It's they had a 10,000 to win IMCA mod show last weekend, and they had 51 mods show up, and surprise, surprise, Ethan Braxma won again, all the way in Oregon. He wasn't in his car. I don't remember the number, but it wasn't his car. But pretty much every big race he shows up to, he wins, it seems like.
Yeah, it feels that one. Well, except for the big deal. He tried to win. He was almost won that one
Oh yeah,
too.
that's
But
true.
yeah. Yeah.
Every big
Yeah. But
IMCA
no,
show he shows up to, I guess.
I mean
It was basically an IMCA mod show there.
anyway, but he has won a ton of stuff this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no surprise he picked up. I did like the name of that one, the Legends of Dirt
Oh, yep.
Modified Shootout. Yeah, so um right on. Well, I'm going to talk about something very similar. So we had, or not we, but I-94 had the Bob Gerke Memorial this past weekend, and it was $2,626 to win for Wissota Modifieds. Notably, they had 43 entries, so they had a healthy field of cars. And Ryan Gerke won. So Gerke took home the bacon. He won. I believe Bob is his father, so he won his father's memorial. That's kind of cool. And then I believe the Midwest mods were also sort of part of the Gerke Memorial as well. And they had 39 Midwest mods show up to race for $1,026, and Lucas Rodin won that. So that's pretty cool. They solid car count for sure.
If they paid 9,000 more, they would have had 25.
Ain't that some shit? You're not even lying. Yeah, that was FYE's problem. They're trying to pay too much.
Yeah, how dare you pay us 10 grand?
um, but they also were running so they have I-94 has a special called the King of Dirt, and so they ran the makeup mod feature, and that also paid $1,892 to win. And Landon Atkinson won that in a pretty good race with Travis
I saw
Sauer
that.
and Shane Zabrowski. Yeah. Yeah. So they gave over, I think they had $4,518 all told up top for those two shows this past weekend. So I could see how that many modified showed up. But sounds like it seems like they had a heck of a turnout, and I'm glad that they did. I mean, I've wore Gerke's shirt and his hat and everything. Obviously, I'm a fan, so glad that the show went well. And we like when memorial races have big turnouts. We like when any race has turnouts, but it's nice to see when a memorial one does. So anyway, hat tip to everyone involved there. But I believe that's everything, buddy.
Yep, we should probably wrap this up before we have more technical difficulties.
We should. We've been struggling. Well, maybe we'll have to do, we'll both have to restart before we start filming next time. But anyway, with that, if you're still here, absolutely drop a like, and we'll catch y'all next week. We appreciate y'all hanging out. Thank
See
you.
ya.